Hello again, you're watching Weekend One, and we continue now with the headline stories of the past week. Our power challenges continued with electricity rationing in a number of areas. While it's not good for business, it seems we are slowly learning to work with an unstable power supply system.
Getting used to planned power cuts. Stage 2 load shedding is in full swing. 2,000 megawatts of the national grid to be shed. B&B owner Hans Fischer says he's learned to function without Eskom.
It is bad, especially when it comes in the evening, because then we are full of guests. And guests don't like to have load shedding because their computers have to be charged and things like that and so on. And it compromises your security as well.
He's found eco-friendly ways to manage his guests.
We actually thought of getting gas to help with the power.
But the South African Chamber of Commerce says smaller enterprises don't always have alternative resources to cushion the knock. The chamber has called on its members to play their part.
The large businesses can. We've got some members that are in the big categories who are already generating quite a large amount using for their own use, but there are also some of them that have got the capacity to increase that generation and to then put some into the grid.
It is quite a tight situation we are in. It's a situation that we are managing very critically with the reserves that we have. So our extent of load shedding between stage 1 and stage 2 is going to really be dependent on the rate at which we're building up the operational reserves of the dams and so on. So we're really seeing a situation of us staying and oscillating between stage 1 and stage 2.
It's urged consumers to continue using power sparingly. Nontabeko Sbisi, Johannesburg.
Let's head to the courts now. And the murder case of strip club boss Lolly Jackson took another turn this week. George Luca, the man facing murder charges, wants the state to drop the case against him. He says his former associate Czech fugitive Radovan Krejča pulled the trigger.
It's been nearly half a decade since strip club boss Lolly Jackson was shot dead. His body dumped in the garage of George Luca's rented home. Former Gauteng Crime Intelligence head Joey Mabasa claimed Luca confessed to the killing before going on the run. But now Luca's reportedly accusing Czech businessman Radovan Krejča of the murder.
We throw ourselves on the mercy of the courts and the justice system. This is now about absolute honesty. He's got to be direct and forthright on every level and every respect of the state. And he intends to do so.
In his statement, Luca is believed to reveal that Jackson begged for his life in the moments before his death. George Luca's lawyer won't reveal which unit of the police he's given his client's highly explosive statement to, but he has revealed that the Cypriot does not trust the Hawks. At least 3 different police units are investigating the murder. Meanwhile, Luca's lawyers say they'll present evidence to the state by the end of this week, aimed at convincing prosecutors to drop the murder case against him.
No deals have been struck with the defense, no deals whatsoever. As we stand here, we're proceeding. We do have sufficient evidence to prosecute.
The NPA says it hopes to make a decision on Luca's representations by the 20th of April, when the case returns to court. Krejča's lawyers have told us the Czech isn't at all worried by what Luca may say. Karen Morn, Johannesburg.
2 traffic accidents in KwaZulu-Natal this week put the school transport system in the spotlight once again. In Umlazi, over 20 learners were seriously injured when a minibus taxi slammed into the back of a bus on Thursday. Just the day before, in Pietermaritzburg, 7 children died when the bakkie they were traveling in crashed into a house. There were 23 primary school children on board.
Putting on a brave face, these pupils at Fezokuhle Primary School hold a memorial for their deceased classmates. 7 pupils, all younger than 13, were killed when the bakkie carrying them veered off the road and slammed into this house.
When I was told coming back from work that such a thing has happened, I thought maybe it was a vehicle caught on the fencing on the wall of the house. But when I came here to find lots and lots of policemen and medical rescue services. I was shocked.
The 32-year-old driver is fighting for her life in hospital. Officials suspect the bakki's brakes may have failed, but the exact cause of the crash is still to be investigated. The provincial education and transport departments have both promised to evaluate school transport in the area.
Only a thorough investigation of where do the children come from and do they meet the criteria can then reveal whether the school needs to be given learner transport.
Government has pledged to assist with the funeral arrangements, but that's of little comfort for parents who've lost their children.
Family mayizizwa kahle yonke ingane besithanda yonke into yahlonipha izimisele esikoleni imisebenzi ayo right esikoleni nothisha bayayithanda.
The date of the funerals is still to be decided. Judith Subin, Pietermaritzburg.
Let's head to Limpopo now. For 3 weeks, the town of Malamulele has been in lockdown with residents demanding their own municipality. But it seems that the 3-week protest action was in vain. On Friday, the Demarcation Board decided not to grant Malamulele its own municipality. It must be bitter news for residents. Their lockdown has already taken a serious toll, particularly on the vulnerable members of the community.
Alina Matebula is a member of Hlanganani, an NGO that keeps Malamulele's elderly active through gardening and beadwork. But the place has been closed since the start of the protests nearly 3 weeks ago. The 71-year-old says working in her garden is a risk she's willing to take, as this is her lifeline.
I'm not happy with the shutdown, but there is nothing I can do because it is there. If we do not do what the leaders say, they will beat us. Look at me, I am old. They will finish me.
Her granddaughter, California Chawuke, is helping her since schools in the area have also been closed.
But then die.
I'm scared the protesters will kill me.
The pair have not been able to collect their social grants for this month. A village center that keeps people living with disabilities busy has been closed.
I enjoyed being at the center because I like seeing people moving around. I don't think this shutdown is good because I can't go anywhere.
While it is clear that the fight for a municipality dedicated to Malamulele has the support of most, if not all, who live here, the most vulnerable members of the community say their wish is that the fight did not have to be so violent. Zikhona Chona, Malamulele in Limpopo.
After the break, the EFF may have to ditch their red overalls in Parliament. Do stay with us for that and more.